Hi friends, and welcome to your life purpose reading. In today's pick a card, we're going to be looking and just taking a closer look at what your life purpose might be. Maybe if we could get some hints about a direction you could start going down. And if you know how pick a cards work, please feel free to go ahead and head to the timestamps down below. If you are new to pick a cards, allow me to explain just a little bit. So this is pile number 1, 2, 3, and 4. And what you're going to want to do is just take a moment now you can look at the timestamps and see if there's any like numbers that are your lucky numbers that oftentimes will indicate that pile is for you. If one of your favorite colors is represented in the candles, you can also just meditate on the cards and see what calls out to you. You can say the numbers 111, 222. Excuse me, 333 or 444, and see if any of those numbers resonate with you as well. So please know that you are never going to choose wrong. Like, that is just something, what is for you is never going to pass you. So you don't have to be afraid about your decision. Also, some people choose to watch all of them and then decide for themselves which pile actually resonates. Sometimes more than one pile resonates. Sometimes it's just one. And please also keep in mind, this is a general reading and I have a lot of messages that channel through me. So I do my best to filter them out and get as many things out of the reading as we can. But sometimes it's just the candle blessing for you. Sometimes it's just one card or a myriad of cards in one reading versus the entire thing. And for some of you, the whole reading will resonate because it's all for you. So please just keep that in mind as we go forward. And like I said, what is for you will not pass you. I'm going to go ahead and be quiet for about 10 to 20 seconds, turn up the music, and allow you to make a card selection. All right, let's go ahead and get into the readings. All right, pile number 1, if you chose this pile, this is a little bit of an insight on your purpose. So if you're new to my pick a cards, the first thing we always do is we like to do a little bit of intention candle setting. So if you chose pile 1, you chose the orange candle. And so for this little candle blessing, I just want you to take a moment to focus on something that you want to bring into your life. Orange candles actually represent the sign of Leo. So some of you might be Leos, or you might want to attract a Leo or have major Leo placements in your chart. You may have also come across this reading during Leo season because these messages are timeless. But for this, it also represents ambition and really going after that which your heart's desire is. To me, that is probably the biggest thing with orange candles. So if you have anything that you feel really ambitiously called to, or you have a lot of desire, maybe this would be a good time to set intention for inspired action to come towards you now. But you don't have to choose any of those things. You can go with whatever intention you would like, just something that you want to bring into your life from the universe. So I'm going to go ahead and get this set up for you real quick. We are just going to burn the bottom a little bit so it will actually burn straight for us. Oops, I got a little waxy on the way down. So basically, what we're going to do is just hold on to that intention now that you've got it. I like to put my hand over my heart and take a big deep breath in. You can put your hands wherever feels comfortable, but I'm going to go ahead and do that with you now. So let's just take a deep breath in. All right, let's go ahead and light it up. So what this is going to do for us is I am going to let this burn down all the way completely for you off camera, because it will probably not burn down during this reading. But we also like to read candle flames in my readings. So sometimes candle flames can actually give us messages. Sometimes they flicker in a way that also allows us to receive messages from others or from the beyond. And also something I want to mention right now with how small this flame is, when flames start out really small, because normally flames I would say are like this big, but when they start out kind of small like this, it is a representation to me that your manifestation might come in a little bit slower for you, but that does not mean that it's not going to come. There just might be some things you need to take care of before this thing can come in. So that's definitely like something that I feel like is very common with smaller flames, but I'm sure as the reading goes on, the flame will pick up. So I'm going to go ahead and set this up in the corner for us so we can see it during the reading, see if it interacts with us at all. And let's go ahead and get into the reading. So for you, my beautiful pile number ones, this reading is going to focus on the moon. It's very interesting. I wanted to pull one specific, like basically kind of like a significator for the reading, and you got the moon card. Now, I do want to let you know that any decks that I use in this reading, I will link them down below for you. So if you like any of these decks, they're available down there. But with the moon, talking about your purpose, the moon is the most, well, I would say one of the most divine feminine cards in the deck. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to identify as female in order to connect with this. But when we think about the divine feminine energy, this usually has a lot more to do with our intuition, our ability to nurture, our ability to care for ourselves and care for others. So for some of you, your purpose might be in that. It might be in nurturing a family or nurturing a home, or it also could be that you are just going to be nurturing your intuitive gifts. So this could be psychic gift and working with your intuition. I mean, I believe that all of us have intuitive gifts. Some of them just show up in different ways, but your purpose is very linked to your intuitive gifts. So I would say the first thing right off the bat is, if you feel like your purpose hasn't really been revealed to you yet, you need to trust that you already have the answer inside, and nothing outside of you is going to give you that answer. So your intuition's coming through very strong here. So let's go ahead and keep going. Gosh, we have so many cards here. So I kind of pulled a pretty big reading for this because I wanted to get as many messages in as possible. Oh my gosh, I cannot, I swear to you, I shuffle these, I swear. Not that I need to prove anything to anybody, but I am so shook right now. So we have the moon again. I usually don't, when I read, I usually don't pull multiple Rider-Waite-Smith cards, which is what like typical tarot decks are, not all of them, but I usually don't read with two of them in any reading. I always use like a bunch of oracle decks, and I'll use one Rider-Waite-Smith deck. And it's usually because of this, because sometimes you get duplicates. And what this says to me is your purpose is very aligned. Like, this is just a stronger indication that you might even feel really drawn to the moon in general. You might be someone that has conversations with the moon at night, or runs your life by the cycles of the moon and the different seasons and phases. And you may even feel that your purpose is going to have an ebb and a flow, or a wax and a wane. It's never going to be this path that is so certain. You're probably going to have little sparks of it, and times and seasons where things are very heightened, and then where things kind of draw back. It's never going to be like a consistent, because you are someone that works better that way, that has cycles and seasons and really lines up with that. Now, we could argue that for everyone, but you in particular, I am getting this huge message right now that you are somebody that is potentially a very highly sensitive individual. And I do have a video all on highly sensitive people, so I would encourage you to watch that. You are somebody that is most likely a very highly sensitive individual, and you need to align yourself with those cycles, because when you kind of draw inward to yourself, you need that time to recharge. So this is huge. I always think that's crazy when that happens, when we have a double indication of the same card. So we also have the Three of Swords. And then we also have the Hermit. Oh my gosh. Okay, so those of you, and I don't want any of you to get this twisted, that your purpose has to be your line of work, because it absolutely does not. Some people, their career is their purpose, but some people, you can do a career, but your purpose can be something completely on the other side of that. But for some of you, I really feel that, or I'm being told rather, I'm hearing that many of you are someone that would probably work very well working from home and doing your own thing. And I feel like that's going to come up a lot in today's pick of cards, because I'm just feeling that energy that many of you are wanting like businesses at home. But we have the Hermit and the Three of Swords. So the Hermit tells me that you're not somebody that wants to necessarily be in a big working environment. That doesn't necessarily motivate you or make you feel extremely good. You're someone that your purpose is going to come from being a little bit more by yourself. It's going to really flourish with you kind of working on your own, because the Hermit is very representational of not only like higher knowledge, but it also is very representational of the hermit, or what a hermit is, which is kind of being shut away from the world. So this is something you may even find that you do in secret, because the moon also is very secretive. This might be a little side hobby or project that you do in secret and don't tell anyone about. Because the way I kind of also like to talk about the moon, gosh, there's so many messages coming in. I feel like I can't keep up. The way I like to talk about the moon, though, is we have to talk about the sun, because the sun, think about it this way, in the light of the day, when the sun is like super peaked and out, you can do anything by the light of the sun. You can see things really clearly. But the light of the moon, even at the moon's fullest point, you can't necessarily see everything super well by the light of the moon when you're outside doing things. So it's kind of like hidden things. This might be hidden gifts, hidden talents, or things that you just don't necessarily share with others. And I really do feel like you're somebody that is very much like a lone wolf. Like you're someone that's going to go in on this by yourself. Now, with the Three of Swords, I feel like many of you are also that person that your friends, when they're having a hard time, they come to you to talk about it. People just give you information, because the Three of Swords is very representational of like heartbreak or things not going our way, or the things that kind of hurt us emotionally, or like even like words that hurt us. And I feel for you, your purpose is very aligned in potentially even just giving advice to others on how to overcome these obstacles. I feel like maybe even from a really young age, I'm hearing many of you were always kind of like wiser than everyone else. And the Hermit is also someone that is extremely wise. So you're someone that is extremely wise, and people come to you with that. So I love that. Now we also have, let's see what else is here. We have Part of Fortune. Okay, so with Part of Fortune coming out, this tells me that your career probably is a big part of your purpose, because the Part of Fortune, it's like you're going to get a lot of money from this. Whatever your purpose comes into being, this is the thing that's going to make you wealthy. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be like a millionaire. I mean, for some of you, that might be very much the case. Part of Fortune is your fortune, but it also is like, it will be your line of work, because it will be how you make financial gain in this reality. Now, we also have Saturn and Truth. And Saturn rules Capricorn. Some of you might be Capricorns, which I don't care what anybody says. You can never keep a Capricorn from doing their thing in terms of work. Like, they will get the job done. Capricorns are extremely responsible individuals, and you may find that you have, oh my gosh, look at this flame while I'm talking about it. So many of you must be Capricorns. You will get the job done. You will get things done. You are extremely responsible, or you might have major Capricorn placements in your charts. But with Saturn and Truth, some of you actually, and I hate to say this, it's not for everyone. This is just for some of you. Some of you will not come into your purpose until around age 30, or possibly even age 60, because Saturn actually comes back into orbit where it was for you the day that you were born, if you know anything about astrology and your natal charts. Every like 28 to 30-ish years, it actually comes back to circle back to where it was when you were born. And it's here to actually help us up level. Sometimes a lot of really hard things have to happen in order for us to expand. And it's kind of why, like, I feel like around age 30, a lot of people like panic and they're like, oh my gosh, like, because society has conditioned us to believe that we have to be married and know our career and have our house and our kids and whatever. And so around age 30, a lot of people get like the 30-year-old panic because it's like, oh my gosh, what have I even done with my life up to this point? And it's actually a good thing because it allows us to evaluate our life choices that we've made up to that point. And it's a big turning point for a lot of people. Ask yourself, if you know any 30-year-olds in your life, if they are going through a hard time right now, or if they've been through a hard time between ages 28 and 30. I've actually studied a lot of my own family charts and found that every single person, and I have a huge family, I'm the youngest of 7 children. Every single person in my family around age 30 went through something extremely major right around that time. And so some of you, your purpose may be unveiled to you at that time. I'm getting the sense that many of you that chose pile number 1, you potentially are younger, not everyone, but you potentially are younger and you're like stressed out by the fact that you haven't found your purpose yet or your calling. And I want you to know, and Spirit wants you to know, that it might not come until a little bit later in life for you. And that's okay. You're not meant to find your purpose the day you arrive on Earth or even have it all figured out by age 21 or 25. Like, it can come at any time and it's all happening in perfect timing for you. So just know that it might come a little bit later in life, potentially 30 or 60, somewhere around there. Now, we also have break the chain, ancestral patterns healing, rewrite the future. So I love that. So many of you, I feel like, may also feel like the odd ducks in your family or like the black sheep, because many of you definitely see outside of the box. You don't think in the way that everybody else around you does. And I feel like the hermit is also very representational of that, because the hermit will, again, kind of shut themselves away from society, maybe even be like a societal outcast, because they actually are wiser and know more and are, I don't want to say smarter. Like, I'm not out here trying to tell you that I think you're like way better than other people. I think we can all be equal, but I feel like maybe some of you, for your ideas, have been outcast, and that's why you've kind of kept things to yourself. So you are someone here, though, that's based on break the chain, you are actually going to change how your family line does things moving forward, because you're not going to do things the way that where you've come from people have done, which is a beautiful thing. And we also have the initiation, rite of passage, crossing the threshold. So many of you actually might be about to go through your Saturn returns. The Saturn return is like the initiation into adulthood. I believe it is a rite of passage for every single person on the planet. My husband also just went through his, and it definitely was an initiation. Like, he is the most adult that I know. And it was not that way prior to this. So it is like a big initiation going into it as well. The Saturn return, I don't know why it's coming through. Like, I keep hearing messages about the Saturn return specifically. So many of you, I feel like that really is the case. And like I said, if you don't feel like you've hit it yet, at 60, everybody has another one. So you get 2, sometimes 3, because it happens every 30-ish years. So you can have one around age 90 as well. But many of you, like, that's kind of what needs to happen to cross over that and understand your purpose and step into it. Now, we also have realization, number 37. It says, the frequency of realization supports the internal process of becoming aware of our heart-centered truth, as well as the external process of becoming our highest expression in this world. Oh my gosh, that's beautiful. So with this card, many of you, you're just here at the perfect time. I'm starting to get a little choked up about it because it's so beautiful. Like, your incarnation on this planet at this time was so perfectly planned by you that you actually in this lifetime get to live up to your fullest expression. And this lifetime is actually a gift, is what that says to me, that you have probably been through multiple life cycles where maybe you didn't get to live life on your own terms. And this is the life that you're going to get to do that. This is the life that is the breath of fresh air that you've worked so hard to be here. And I feel like even early on in life, you maybe have had a very difficult life, I'm being told, because that difficult experience or experiences that you've been through were meant to make you like won't be able to tolerate it. You won't be able to tolerate not being your most authentic, highest expressioned self. You will not be able to tolerate any less because of everything you've experienced that has been the opposite of that. Oh, I'm sorry. I feel like in one instance, I got like so much suffering. You all are just really, really beautiful. Like, I mean, everybody has beauty in their own way, but you are here to show other people how it's done. And it's beautiful. And we also have change, number 12. The frequency of change supports our ability to gracefully dance with the forever changing nature of reality, both inward and outward, so that we can appreciate the sweet release of the old and the birth of the new. Many of you are here to create the new earth. And I plan to do a podcast episode on that eventually, talking more about it, especially if you've never heard that phrase. But many of you are here to help create the new earth, and that's why your purpose is so important to this planet, because you are somebody that you see where the follies of man have kind of not worked out, or where we're not loving and accepting others. And I feel like you're someone that you like feel the hatred of the world. When you think about it enough, it can make you sick, because you are so highly sensitive to it that you will demand change. Oh, this is so beautiful. Like, because of you and what your purpose will give to this world, the world will change. You're part of something that is so much bigger. So, the last 3 cards are some like more, I guess, like simpler, you could say, things that have to do with your purpose. And so this, for some of you, it could be all 3. For some of you, it might just be 1 or 2 of the cards. But we have number 1, to get in touch with your purpose, use your hands. Some of you might be actually into pottery or cooking or woodworking or blacksmithing or glass blowing. Or maybe you're actually just artists. But many of you need to use your hands to actually make something. And we also have a write a gratitude list. So to get in touch with your purpose, many of you also just might be writers by nature, people that need to write like the books that are going to teach people new ways of being and thinking. And also getting in touch with your purpose, it's like you kind of also need to remember to get in touch with the right now and what you're grateful for right now, so that the universe knows to give you more of that. And then lastly, we have rest, which I feel like this card really signifies to me that many of you are going to have your purpose more and more unlocked to you or through you as you dream. You may have messages that come through in your dreams. Many of you, I'm hearing, also might be Pisces. Pisces definitely has a lot more to do with dreams and the imagination. Some of you also might be into astral travel, helping people on different dimensions. And so your dreams are going to be extremely powerful. I would actually encourage those of you that chose this pile to start dream journaling, which is where you just keep a pen and a notebook next to your bed, and right when you wake up, literally immediately reach for your notebook and write down your dreams and see if you can kind of decode anything from your subconscious as to what has happened. And that may actually help you uncover even more of your path ahead. So this was I can't believe I got choked up like that. Like I think I need to like go ground a little bit. Like that was a lot. Right on pile number 1. Y'all got me, okay? I love you all so, so much. Please claim your blessing. The candle is burning so strong at this point. I love that for us. And don't forget, I link all the decks down below in the order that they appear if you would like to get them for yourself. Also that video that I mentioned, and please do not forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter. I am at Kloee Taylor. And if you should feel called to do so, it is never an expectation, but it is always appreciated. I do have my Cashapp, PayPal, and Venmo linked down below for you. So if you would like to help support the channel, I really appreciate it. It is never expected. I don't do this because I expect money from you. I do this because I feel it is my divine purpose to channel these messages. But if you feel called to do so and you're able, I really do appreciate it. Because of some of the generosity that has been given to me, I have purchased so many decks for our channel, and I've been able to expand my reading abilities and like even learn more and more to teach you. So thank you all so much for those of you that have done that, and I love you all so much, and I will see you in a future video. Bye, my loves. Hello there, my beautiful pile number 2s. If you chose this pile, this is the reading for you that we are going to get a little bit into, finding out more about your purpose. So if you are new to my pick of cards, the first thing we always like to do in my readings is we like to set a bit of an intention candle. And today, if you chose pile number 2, you chose the blue candle. Blue candles actually represent our emotions. They represent water signs, the element of water. So this is going to be Cancer, Pisces, and Scorpio. So you might be one of those signs, or you may want to attract one of those signs. But ultimately, you can choose any kind of intention that you would like. Those were just some suggestions. But go ahead now and choose something that you want to bring into your life from the universe. It might just be more like emotional stability, a specific person, a specific thing. And I'm going to go ahead and set this up for you so we can get a nice clean burn. And then for the intention, I really like to put my hand over my heart and take a deep breath. You can put your hands wherever they feel comfortable, but let's go ahead and take a deep breath and hold on to that intention together. All right, I'm going to go ahead and light this. And what that's going to do is basically we can kind of read the candle flames as we go through, or if it flickers in a way while the reading is happening, we can kind of get messages about the reading. And then also, as this burns down for you off camera, that is your intention being sent out into the universe. So I'm going to continue to let this burn up in the corner for us so we can still see what it's doing. I do feel like the flame was really strong. Like it started a little bit small, but it got big pretty quickly. So that to me is a strong indication that whatever you are manifesting is going to come in relatively easily for you. It's not something that's going to take too much time. So let's go ahead and get into your reading pile number 2. So your reading today actually surrounds the card of Temperance. And I actually really love this for you for your purpose in particular, because Temperance to me is the card of being an alchemist, being somebody that is in complete flow of co-creating with the universe that which you desire. And it's also, you're somebody that probably, you have the ability to be very patient and to really hold on to things for the long haul. I'm hearing that many of you actually may be Tauruses. That is definitely a big sign of a Taurus, is someone that just continues to kind of hang on to things for the long haul. And it takes you a long time to like stop going after something. Like it's long dead before you put it to rest. But with Temperance, even if you're somebody who is not patient, Temperance also has strong pulls to the sign of Aquarius. So you may also be an Aquarian. But ultimately, you are someone that's Temperance can really talk to us about just really being in the constant flow. Like it's usually, I mean, in these cards, it's not depicted. If you want any of the decks that I use today, by the way, they're all linked down below in the order that they appear. But with Temperance, it's usually this image of like an angel kind of pulling water back and forth between these two cups. So in knowing that, you kind of create this like magical flow. So I love that. I think that's a beautiful way to start a reading, having this like card of just pure alchemy. So you are the alchemist in your purpose. You are someone that like, you actually may have multiple purposes in this life. You're someone that you might not be attached to one thing for your entire existence. And that's so normal. I feel like many people have this misconception that your purpose is like the thing that you go to school for when you're 18 in college and then you graduate and like that's your forever purpose. But actually, no. You can have multiple purposes and it's kind of whatever you're feeling. So I love that. And that honestly is reaffirmed here with the Eight of Wands. The Eight of Wands card is a lot about multiple opportunities and them coming into you very quickly. So this to me says that you're probably gifted in a multitude of different things. You're not someone that you just know one trick of the trade. You are somebody that you have the ability to master multiple trades. We also have the Three of Cups and we have the Six of Cups. So beautiful energy. With the Three of Cups, this to me is like whatever you do that aligns with your purpose might actually be, I said this in pile number 1 as well, that your purpose doesn't have to be your career. I think many people think that your purpose has to be lined up with your career, and like, because we've kind of built our world, at least in the Western world, we've kind of built our world around this idea that your career is your purpose and you eat, sleep, breathe, drink your career, and like you're supposed to be in love with it and so on top of it, and like you know you're going out there being the boss. And ultimately that actually isn't true. You can have a career that you love and it not actually be your purpose. Your purpose can be something beyond that. So with the Three of Cups, this to me is a true card of friendship, and you are someone that I'm actually hearing many of you maybe have come from families that you don't really align with, and you are actually someone that you are a family to your friends. You are someone because you know what it feels like to not really have family to back you up, that your friends actually mean so much more to you. And you are kind of the backbone of friendship circles. And you're the one, you also may find that you're like, I don't want to say like the mother role in friendships, but I could definitely see that. That's what I'm hearing, is like many of you are kind of the glue that's always holding everyone together. And your purpose might be that you just are a little bit more empathic and you take the time to know individuals. Your circle of friends may also be a little bit smaller than more other people that you know. Now, we also have the Six of Cups, which tells me that whatever your purpose is linked to, you can get a huge indication by asking yourself what you love to do as a child, because the Six of Cups is very linked to our past and where we've come from. And so for you, something that you find a lot of like joy and a lot of love in, it's something that you have maybe been really drawn to from a really young age. So really ask yourself what your hobbies were as a kid, because there might be something in there for that. There might be something that really helps you to understand what it is that your calling is in this lifetime. So we also have Jupiter, the abundance card. Excuse me. And we also have Aries, I am. Wow. So some of you also might be Aries. But with Jupiter and abundance, gosh, like I said, I feel like I said this in pile number 1 as well. Some of you that chose pile number 2, you may want to go back and watch pile number 1 as well. If you were like feeling strongly pulled to both, I feel like you should definitely watch both. But with Jupiter and abundance, to me, whatever your divine purpose is, it's going to bring abundance into your life. Abundance of love, abundance of wealth, abundance of material goods, abundance of knowledge, whatever it is that you feel like you would like to have in abundance, this has the potential to bring that to you, because Jupiter actually is, to me, best described as like the giving planet. Jupiter also rules over the sign of Sagittarius. We're getting a lot of fire energy in this reading, which is really interesting. But Jupiter does rule over the sign of Sagittarius as well. So some of you could also be Sagittarians, but I feel that for you, pile number 2, I'm really getting this strong message that whatever this thing is, it's going to like wipe out any worry that you have. And it is something that you will have created yourself. Because with Temperance there being the alchemist of your life, you actually might be somebody that is very much a visionary and very much someone that has like a vision of how you want something to be that hasn't necessarily been done the way that you want to do it. Some of you actually might be inventors. And we have Aries, I am. And to me, an I am statement, you know, this like, you are your purpose. Like I know I literally just said like, you know, your purpose doesn't have to be your career, but you are somebody that you are that person. You are, because we have that I am, right? So you are someone that your purpose literally is the thing that you get out of bed in the morning for. It is going to be something, or it is currently, maybe you're someone that's already in alignment with your purpose. And because of that, you're someone that like you get out of bed in the morning and that's the thing that you want to go do immediately, because it's just what you are. It's such a part of your personality and who you are. So I love that. Now we have trust your path. If you knew you would be supported, what would you do? I love this. So with this card, those of you that are listening to this pile that you feel like your path really hasn't been revealed to you, because I'm feeling strongly that many of you it already has, but those of you that are not sure, this is the question you need to ask yourself, because there is this misconception that you have to slave away your life, work for a corporation, or go to college to get a specific kind of job and give your life until you're 65 years old, and then you can finally go paint violets by the beach every day. When in reality, if none of that mattered and you could go paint violets by the beach tomorrow, what would you actually want to do with your time, basically? Would you want to work at a Fortune 500 company, or would you want to go paint the violets tomorrow? You know, we idolize this version of our life that we think we can't have until we're old and gray, when in reality, you can have this version of your life at any moment. You just have to be willing to kind of go against the grain. And I'm telling you, pile number 2, you have the ability to do that. You have the ability to forge your own path. You are an alchemist. You are a co-creator. You are somebody, an alchemist transmutes energy. You are somebody that has the power to transmute energy around you. And so ask yourself that question. If you knew that you were going to be supported no matter what, that the universe had your back, how would you spend your time? And I mean really spend your time, because I also feel like some of us with that question, we don't even know the answer. It's like, oh, if I had all the time in the world, like I would just sit on the couch and watch Netflix and eat popcorn. When in reality, that's going to get boring after a couple of weeks. So how do you really want to spend your time? Really think that over. I think that's a journal prompt for some of you. Now we also have Imrama, Imrama, I apologize if I'm saying that wrong, but where are you being called to journey to? So pile number 2, y'all really are on a journey, because with Temperance being the alchemist, I feel like me saying that, I really got this feeling right away that many of you are confused by that. You're like, I don't feel like I'm co-creating diddly with the universe. I don't feel like, some of you, like I said, are actually living your purpose right now, but some of you are like, nah, I don't feel aligned with my purpose. I have no idea what I'm doing. And ultimately, it's because you're not just asking the right questions. You're not asking yourself the right questions. And I would really encourage you to take some time out to discover this for yourself by actually asking the hard questions that Man, I have such a personal story that I could share about this, but because it involves somebody in my family, I can't. But I definitely have something like that happened like this week in my life. I was talking to, I guess I could kind of talk about it. I was talking to a family member and they were expressing dissatisfaction. And I was saying like, well, what do you want to do? And they were like, oh, I could do this. I could do that. And I was like, no. What do you want to do? If anything was an open opportunity to you, what would you want to do? And they were like, whoa, I don't know. Like, Kloee, that's too deep. I don't know. And I think many of you just don't know. You haven't explored yourself enough or asked yourself the right questions to know. And that's what you're being asked to do. And I'm so glad that you came into this reading because maybe this is the push that you needed. Now, we also have conception. Number 16, the frequency of conception invites us to bring our consciousness to our origin, the place where everything in creation begins. It helps us to remember the infinite potential and possibilities of this space and what we can manifest through our own focused awareness and intention. So many of you, your purpose, you are going to be manifesting it. It's something, like I said, you are the creator, you are the alchemist, you are the dreamer who's going to dream it into being. Or you've already done it, or are doing it. And don't discount your ability. I feel like many of you are potentially living in a very disempowered state where you feel like other people are worthy or can have what you desire, but it's not meant for you for some reason. And I'm here to tell you that that's not true. You have the ability. I'm telling you, this Temperance card is strong. Like, many of you have such untapped potential that you haven't even touched yet. Now we also have Earth, number 24, which is the frequency of Earth activates our deep connection to the physical plane by showing us the beauty of all the aspects of our Great Mother and revealing the more ethereal spiritual aspects of our nature. So many of you, I feel like, are being asked to make a stronger spiritual connection to yourself. Now, this isn't me telling you that you need to go like get baptized tomorrow. You can be religious if that's your choice, or you can be spiritual without being religious. Like, I'm never going to be that person that's going to tell you what to do in terms of your own spirituality. That's an individual path for every person to experience. But for you, I feel like you're being called to connect with yourself deeper on a more spiritual level. And that's really going to help you unlock your highest potential because it's big. Jupiter is not small potatoes. The Temperance card is not small. Like, this is big. And you, even with a blue candle, the fact that you chose a blue candle that represents the emotional, like, emotions, you are somebody that has the potential to also, like, mutate the energy around you, even on an emotional plane. Like, you may be able to change, like, the energy of a room just by walking into it. Your, like, mere existence does things. So don't dim. Now, the last three cards that I have for you, these are a little bit more specific and things that can kind of help you to really get in touch with this or strengthen your calling right now. Now, some of these, all three are going to apply, and some of them, only one of them is going to apply, or two of them. So we have build strength. So some of you, now this could be physical strength, or it can also be mental strength. You need to work a little bit more on how you talk to yourself, on the things that you ask yourself, maybe even starting up a meditative practice to strengthen your third eye. Specifically because we do have this eye present right here. Some of you also just need to start workout routines because you have maybe a lot of pent-up aggression, I'm hearing, and in order to release that energy and kind of transmute it into something that's more functional for you, working out is going to be good for you. We also have pleasure. Now, I'm not trying to get demonetized right now, so I will say this in as simple terms as I can, but with pleasure, this isn't necessarily pleasure with someone else. This is pleasure with yourself. So yes, you actually can, and like I said, I'm not trying to get demonetized here, but you actually can experience the big O, if you know what I'm saying, with yourself, and you can unlock higher potential with that. You can manifest with that. You can co-create with that energy. It is one of the strongest energies you can align yourself with, because it literally like it moves the energy in your entire body. So don't hesitate to spend a little time with yourself, okay? And then we also have sound healing. So many of you, maybe you need to get into crystal bowl music, making it yourself, or maybe binaural, but I don't know how to say it, beats on YouTube. Fun fact, when I do these readings, I actually have headphones in and I'm listening to crown chakra music. I'll link it down below for you if you're interested. It's just here on YouTube. It's like a 6-hour video of just crown chakra music, because the crown chakra helps me to connect to the higher power. So I like to listen to that when I read, or when I'm doing any kind of meditative work or spiritual work. I listen to a lot of crown chakra. Now it could be any of the chakras for you. Maybe you want to listen to one that goes through every chakra, you know, but it is something that I feel like has been really helpful to me on my journey. And I feel like crystal bowl singing, like it's just really, it helps you to like increase the frequency of your vibration. And also it can help you clear out blockages in different chakras. So that is what I have for you, pile number 2. I hope you enjoyed this reading. Please don't forget to check out the description box down below. I have all the cards listed down there, the candles, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter. I'm at Kloee Taylor. And if you feel called to do so, it is never an expectation, but it is always appreciated. I do have my Cashapp, Venmo, and PayPal listed down below, and each of those are available to use if you feel called to. I don't do this because I expect something from you. I do this because it is what I feel called to do. But some of the generosity that has been given to me, we've been able to do even more readings because of it. I've been able to purchase more decks to actually get more in depth with readings. So thank you to those of you that have felt called to do that. But again, it is never an expectation. And I love you all so much. Please remember that when you stand up in your own authenticity, you empower everyone around you to do the same. And I'll see you all in the next video. Bye. Hello there, my beautiful pile number 3s. If you chose this pile, it is the pile for you that we are going to find out a little bit more about your purpose in this life. So first and foremost, if you are new to my pick of cards, what we love to do before we get into the reading is intention candle setting. So if you chose this pile, you chose a red candle, and red candles represent fire signs, which is going to be Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. It also represents passion and creativity. So I want you to think now, and it doesn't have to be any of those suggested things. You can set intention for whatever you would like to bring into the universe. But I would like you to think now of an intention of something, a person, a thing. Maybe it's an emotional state of being. Maybe you want your purpose to be revealed to you more. With that, go ahead and just think of an intention that you would like to set with this. And I'm going to go ahead and get it set up for you. So we're going to burn the bottom of this just a little bit, just so we can get a nice clean burn. All right, so with that intention in mind, go ahead and we're just going to take a deep breath together. I like to put my hand over my heart when I do this, but you can put your hands wherever they feel comfortable. And let's just take a deep breath and focus on that intention. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and light this up for you. And basically what is happening with that, as this burns down, your intention is going out into the universe so that it can come back to you. So we also read candle flames on this channel, and sometimes the candles will tell us things about the reading. First and foremost, I want to point out that that candle lit right away. There was no like small flame to it. It lit perfectly right away. So that's a good sign. That means that there's nothing in your way from receiving the intention that you asked for. Sometimes when flames start out really small at first, it's usually an indication that there might be a blockage or something that needs to happen beforehand, but it looks to me like your flame is going nice and strong. So We're going to go ahead and just put that right up here for you, and just so we can kind of keep an eye on it, and then we're going to go ahead and get into the reading. So let's do that. So this, your reading is centered around the Emperor. I love that. The Emperor. So for those of you that chose this pile, the Emperor represents to me the divine masculine, number one, and number two, the Emperor also represents to me the boss of their own life. This is the entrepreneurship card. So many of you, I feel like, that chose this pile, a big part of your divine purpose might be going into entrepreneurship, starting your own business. Now, I do want to make it very clear that your career does not have to be your purpose. I think there is a misconception when people even ask, like, what do you do? The first thing people say is they start talking about their career. You know, your purpose does not have to be your career. It can be, but it doesn't have to be. You can have a career and then you can also have a divine purpose in something else. But with this, I'm getting a strong indication that your career definitely is probably linked to your purpose. And if not, the Emperor also, to me, I'm hearing it might be parenting. Those of you pile number threes might want to link up with pile number ones because we pulled a very divine feminine card in pile number one, and then we have the divine masculine here. So some of you may find that you are someone that just takes on that role of the divine masculine. It could be actually fatherhood. For some of you, it also could be that you're just someone that's extremely strong-willed and you're going to go out there and make things happen. You're not going to wait for them to come to you. You're going to go out there and make things happen. So we also have, oh, this is so cool. We have the Empress. Okay, many of you, your purpose maybe is to be parents, and I'll talk about why in a second. We have the Three of Wands. Let me actually scoot these up just a bit. We have the Three of Wands, the Empress, and the Magician. Okay, so some of you, it might be like you wanted to be parents in this life because with the Empress and the Emperor, these are two cards that go hand in hand. They are the divine masculine and the divine feminine in card form. The Moon also speaks on the divine feminine, but the Empress to me is the divine feminine in human form. So with both of these cards, they're each other's counterpoints. So I do feel that many of you that chose this pile, a big part of your purpose is to potentially even start a family business. Maybe you're someone that's going to take on the family business from your parents, and that's a big part of it. Now, I don't want you to feel like that's something that's going to weigh you down and trap you, because if you are someone that the family business does not align with you, then it's not your purpose. And if it's something that you don't want or you're dreading and you feel like it is your responsibility, your purpose is never going to feel like that. You wouldn't give that to yourself. So those of you, though, you might be the person that actually starts a business that will be for a lineage, that will be for generations to come. Now, with the Magician, I feel like you are potentially coming to a place now where your purpose is really being ignited for you, because with the red candle, that is fast, quick paced fire energy. It's also creative energy, but when we have the Magician as well, the Magician is like all the power, all the powers of the universe are lining up to work with you, because the Magician, you can't see it in this card, in this tableau, but the Magician normally has a wand, a pentacle, a sword, and a cup in the image. And that is because it is all the suits of the tarot being present with the master magician. They have all of the different powers at their disposal to use how they need to create their reality in a way. So this is really beautiful. To me, this is very representational of also being the master creator of your purpose, which there was another pile that talked about that. I think it was pile number 2, the Alchemist. So you may also want to watch pile number 2. Those of you that felt called to 2 piles, pile number 2 may also be one that you want to look into. But with this, I do feel that you are someone that will be creating your path in front of you. Now, we also have the Three of Wands, and the Three of Wands is all about creation. And it's also about like, you have kind of already sent things out into the universe that you're kind of hoping are going to have a return. You're just kind of gathering information. So right now, you're actually being asked with your purpose, if you're not aware of it yet, you need to kind of produce something and put it out there, and then stand back and kind of see what happens. You need to be kind of on a fact-finding mission right now, because with the Three of Wands, it's like, it's this person that's like standing on a hill, kind of looking out over the sea. Now, I'm talking about the original tableaus, not the ones of these cards, but they're kind of a little more simple in this deck, so I feel called to explain them a little more. But normally there is someone depicted kind of looking out over a sea. There are little ships on the sea, and they're waiting for their ships to come back because they've already sent them out. So you actually just need to start something, anything. I actually talked about this recently on Twitter, which is funny. Some of you that are thinking about starting YouTube channels in particular, this message is definitely for you. But with YouTube, if you're just starting out, and this is a very specific example, obviously, but when you're just starting out, your first like 8 videos, you're just throwing darts at a board, and you're trying to see, based on what you enjoy creating and what gets the highest views back, you want to keep creating that thing. So the first 8 videos are just you throwing darts at a board to see which ones hit the bullseye. And you can kind of really play with a lot in the beginning before you decide to possibly niche down. Now, because you also have the Magician here, I don't necessarily think you're someone that has to niche down. You're someone that can create just about anything, and it's going to work in your favor. It's a very blessed time for you right now. And that doesn't mean that it's only when this video goes live. Like, this is a timeless reading. So anytime that you've come across it, it's the right time for you to hear it. So I love that. That's beautiful energy. We also have the 6th house, which is routine. And we also have the fire element, which is desire. Oh, I love this. We have so much fire energy going on here. I mean, even the Emperor to me is very like fiery. So many of you might actually just be fire signs, which I think I said in the beginning is Leo, Sagittarius, and Aries. But the best way you are going to actually link up and be in alignment with your purpose is through your routines, is through making a routine of the things that you create, because you're the person that is the boss. Nobody else is going to do this thing for you. And it's your routines. And that doesn't mean, I want to make this very clear. Spirit is like, you need to tell them this. I want to make this very clear. That doesn't mean that you have to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning every day before the sun rises, and that's the only way that you will be successful. Now, that is one way, but time technically really means nothing. Time is a construct that was created by people. Time doesn't really mean anything. Now, if you actually feel productive at 6 o'clock in the morning, then by all means, make a routine out of waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning. But if you don't, and you're like an 11 a.m. riser, then start your routines at 11 a.m. You know, you need to kind of make a little bit more structure. And it's funny because the Emperor, I feel like, is very supportive of that, is very supportive of creating a structure and a routine based on what you are doing. So let's say that you're trying to build a business from the ground up, no matter what it is. You need to start setting aside specific time blocks to get it done, and to, whether you're in the beginning stages or you've already seen some success and you're seeing it kind of come back towards you, you need to set up a routine around this to continue. So this might be, 2 hours a week. You spend time researching marketing. You spend time researching, if it's the YouTube thing I was talking about, maybe you spend time on learning how to create better thumbnails, learning how to understand the algorithm and make it work for you. For many of you, there's this strong thread of like learning that's coming through as well, that many of you also are doubting yourself and your ability to create this beautiful enterprise, because you doubt that you have the skills to carry it through. And I'm telling you right now, the skills are out there. If you actually, number one, you have everything you need because you have the magician. You have everything you need. And if there is anything that you feel like you need to learn more about, we are in a digital age where we are more blessed than we ever have been to obtain new knowledge. I promise you, anything that you want to learn is online. You can find it. If you have an internet connection and you are listening to this video right now, you can learn anything that you want to online for free. It is out there, I promise. As somebody that is self-made and has taught myself every single thing that I know how to do, literally everything that I do on a daily basis, I have taught myself. I am a self-made, self-learned person. Every trick of the trade I have taught myself, and it's all been for free online. I did not go to school to learn the things that I know how to do. So, please know that that information is there for you. And also, the universe is supporting you to go forth. That was weird. I'm going to have to check that in the playback. But out of the corner of my eye, I don't know if that was real or something that my eye just caught weird, but I swear I saw like a spark right here. There was like a little orange spark that just went like blink right over here. That might have just been me. I don't know. Maybe that was one of your guides coming in. I don't know. That was really weird. I only saw it for a second. I'll be interested to see if that's in the footage. But anyways, with this, you have everything that you need to create these structures and these routines. It's not, I don't want you to, the cards are not calling you lazy by any means. They're just saying that you need to actually sit down and take some time to plan where you're going to make time for this in your life, because I feel that many of you are very stressed out about the time and also about you lacking the knowledge, and it's just frankly not true. Now we also have the fire element of desire, and I love when I see desire come up in readings, because when we see desire, many people have a misconception that they are not allowed to desire things, that desire is like the epitome of evil for some reason, and desire just like hurts us in some way. But in reality, when we desire something, it's there for a reason. We have desire because it helps us to come into alignment with inspired action. When you desire something with your whole heart and you will do just about anything to get it, the inspired action will come. And it's not wrong to have desire. Desire sets our heart on fire to get things done. So don't fear your desires. It's not wrong for you to want money. It's not wrong for you to want a successful business. It's not wrong for you to want to have a family. And whoever told you that, they are not correct. So you can take pride in knowing that they're wrong, and you get to make the decisions that you want to make for your life without their input. Now, I feel like there's something else here before we move on. I'm being told that like there's something that I've missed. The numbers. Okay, so we have number 37, which 37 condenses to 10, and 10 becomes 1. So this potentially could be a new beginning for many of you. Beautiful. And we also have the number, what is that? 39? 30, excuse me. We have the number 30 being represented here as well, which is just condenses down to 3. So I'm hearing that many of you also may be life path 3s, and a life path 3 is the life path of a creative. There are life path calculators. I'll link one down below. If you don't know your life path number, you can find it. It's pretty easy and it's free. But life path 3s are, or you could be a life path 1 as well, but life path 3s are the creative entrepreneur. They are the life of the creative. They are someone that they really do create something, and that is like where their life path kind of mirrors that, no matter what they're creating. And also the Empress that is here, the Empress is the creator. The Empress is the mother that like births new life. So that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be a mother or a father, but you birth new things into this reality that are creative, that you have made. So we also have synergy, which says the frequency of synergy supports our allowance and acceptance of not so obvious, never seen before combinations, and unions that result in new ways of functioning, working, thinking, relating, loving, and being. It reminds us to embrace the unfamiliar so that new yet exciting creations can give birth to a new reality. What did I literally just say? I literally was like, that gives birth. And then we have a card that talks about like birthing a new reality. So whatever your life purpose is, it is something that you are going to birth. I feel like that's very common for a lot of the readings today. It's like, it's your creation. And I think that's something that just needs to be said in general, that life purposes can change as you change and evolve. And if you feel very confused and afraid that you're never going to find your purpose, it's maybe because something that is your purpose doesn't even exist yet. You have to make it. And don't be scared of that, because the universe is never just going to lead you along blind. The universe is there to support it. And like I said, we have the magician here. You are supported. Now, we also have the Divine Masculine card, which is really funny because the Emperor is the Divine Masculine. And this card says, the frequency of Divine Masculine supports our strong, focused, and active side, allowing it to express itself while helping us to bring our dreams and ideas into form with kindness and wisdom. So with the Divine Masculine card, you've got this. Even if there's a drive that you feel like you're lacking, you can tap into it. You're not lacking anything. And I feel like for some of you, that's the only message that you really needed from this reading, is that you've got it in the bag. Like, you're being supported by the universe for your purpose. Just create it. Just get started one day, one step at a time. Don't feel like you have to have it all figured out right now. Now, we also have Sisterhood of the Rose, Beauty, Devotion, Priestess, Mystic, and Teacher. So you're someone that also may be here to teach others how to do this, how to become this version of themselves that is in higher alignment. You maybe even would consider life coaching or psychology or something along those realms that kind of helps you become the teacher to teach others, not how to live their lives necessarily, but teach them the pathway to accepting their highest calling. So you're going to become such an expert on your purpose that maybe that's the business you're going to start, is helping other people find their purpose. And maybe you already feel like you're there. But we also have Pillar of Light. Your vibration is rising. You are the oracle. Wow. So y'all are leaders. That's something else I didn't mention with the Emperor. That is definitely a very big leadership card. You're not a follower. You're a leader. And I'm hearing it again. I feel like every time I do a reading, this happens. Many of you that chose pile number 3, this is like the light worker pile. And I feel like there is a misconception that only like people that identify as female can be light workers, when that's not true. Light workers is for anyone, no matter how you identify. But with Pillar of Light, that is like a huge tip off of a light worker. It's like, you are the light. You bring in the light of the higher vibration to help the collective wake up. So, wow, I just got chills. Chills all over my body. You're here for a great purpose. I feel like many of you that watch this, like, you maybe need to watch pile 1 or 2. Many of you that picked this pile, you are fighting between one of those other piles, because I feel like these are all very linked in a lot of ways. Now, the last 3 cards that I have for you, we have just some things that you might consider to kind of help you link up with your purpose. Now, for some of you, it's going to be all 3. For some of you, it's going to be 1 or just 2 of them. But first and foremost, we have make a meal. So many of you may actually really enjoy cooking, and it is through your passion for cooking or meal planning or something of that nature that is going to help you. And also, this could be a big part, of your routines that you need to start putting in place. Meal planning might be a big one. Maybe you feel like you don't have time to work on this enterprise or this empire that you're building or wanting to build, because you're like, all my spare time is spent freaking cooking for my family of like 8 kids. And I don't know why 8 kids just came out. Maybe that's one of you. But you need to actually set aside some time to meal plan and prep ahead of time to save yourself some time so that you can start making the time for this. We also have a health checkup, and I feel like some of you actually might just want to go into the medical field, and from that, that's going to actually open you up to maybe something that's never been discovered in the medical field or in medical history. We also have with health checkup, this just might be something that you want to do in general. Maybe you've been feeling really drained or not feeling so good, and you just need to go and see if like something in you is off, or maybe you need like a certain vitamin or something. Now, I am not a healthcare professional, so please do not take my word for that. You decide what is best for you always. But some of you may just need to go and get like some blood work done, get your levels checked, or maybe you recently did that. And lastly, we have abundance planning. So I feel like with abundance planning, part of the message is that you need to ask yourself the important question of, for the lifestyle that I want to live in alignment with my purpose, what do I think I would need to earn to do this full time? What do I think that I would need to earn? And this is everything. This isn't just like, oh yeah, I want like my empire to put gas in my car. It's deeper than that. It's, many people, I'm hearing Spirit saying specifically, many of you are afraid to let yourself earn money because you're afraid of the taxes. And ultimately, if you just manifest abundance that it doesn't matter, like how could you get over your fear of taxes? You manifest the abundance to where you make so much abundance that taxes don't even matter. Like you could spit on taxes. It doesn't even equate into the money that you need to survive, or not even survive, but thrive. There are definitely some limiting beliefs around money for some of you. I feel like many of you also have this belief that you don't have the money that it takes to get started, when you don't even need money right off the bat. You kind of already have, like I said, what you need. But you need to actually make some time to figure out what it is. And I would actually encourage that whatever number you come up with that you think you need to earn in order to make this a reality, double it. Double it, because money is just energy. And the moment that you remove any kind of financial blockages that you're experiencing in your energetic field, it's like a cork pops and money just flows to you endlessly. And I can stand by that with my own testimony. Like, it's just, don't ever tell yourself that you can only be in this box and you can only earn this much. Like, whatever your ultimate goal is, double it, and don't be scared of it. And I actually am feeling very called. I will put a link down below for you, pile number 3. There is a book that actually really has helped me. I've done it like 5 different times now. I think I'm on my 5th run through currently. And it is the Manifestation Babe book on manifesting abundance. And it's like a 21-day guide where you do little 10-minute exercises every day, read like 2 or 3 pages a day or less. And she helps you to kind of start changing your beliefs around money, and you set a certain amount that you want to earn in those 21 days. And every time I have done it, I have either hit what I've asked for or exceeded it. So it really does work. Like I said, link down below, pile number 3, if that's something that you're interested in. Not sponsored or anything. It's just something that has really changed my life and how I look at abundance in the world. So that being said, thank you so very much for tuning in today. I hope that this reading helps you align with your purpose or gave you more confidence in your purpose. And don't forget to claim your blessing. Don't forget that all of the cards are listed down below in the order that they appear. You may also, if you so choose, follow me on Instagram. I am at Kloee Taylor. And if you feel called to do so, it is never expected, but always appreciated. I have my PayPal, Cashapp, and Venmo listed down below. Because of the abundance that you have shared with me, we have purchased multiple decks for this channel. More time has been made available to actually read more for you all. And a lot of things have just been open because of that. So thank you all so much. Again, it is never an expectation. I do this because I feel called to do it, not because I expect something from you. But if you feel called, it is greatly appreciated. And I love you all so, so much. And I will talk to you in the next video. Bye. Hello, my beautiful pile number 4s. If you chose this pile, this is the reading for you about your purpose. So if you are new to my pick a cards, the first thing we always do on this channel is we set a little bit of an intention candle together. So if you chose this pile, you chose the purple candle. Purple candles speak specifically to psychic ability and the divine feminine. And the color purple is also considered to be a royal color. So take some time now to, oh, also, sorry, one more thing that's coming through. Purple is also the color of Sagittarius. It represents Sagittarius. So some of you also might be Sagittarians or have major Sagittarius placements. But, what I want you to do now is just think of something that you want to bring into your reality. It could be a thing, a person, a place, a feeling that you want to have, a home, or it could be something like maybe you want to feel more like royalty. Maybe you want to attract a Sagittarius. Maybe you want to increase your psychic gifts. You don't have to go with something that is specific to the color purple, but you can if you would like to. Now go ahead and just think about that intention for a moment while I get this set up for us. Sorry for bumping the camera. All right, so I just want to get that like this so it'll burn nice and straight for us. And so what I like to do is actually focus on that intention and take a deep breath in. So you can put your hands wherever they feel comfortable. I like to put mine over my heart when I think about this. And just let's take a deep breath together. Really holding that intention. And now I'm going to go ahead and light this up for you. So with this candle, basically what this is going to do is as it burns down, and it will burn out all the way off of camera, I will let it burn out for you. As this burns out, that is your intention being sent out into the universe so that it can come back to you. So, I'm going to go ahead and actually put this right up here in the top corner of our reading so we can keep our eye on it. And sometimes the candle flame can also be red. I will do a video on that in the future, possibly next month, as this month I have all of my content already planned. But what I can say first and foremost is the flame on this started out very small. It's still kind of small. And what that says to me is your intention, if you chose this pile, there might be something in the way of letting you receive that intention. Now, it doesn't have to be something major. It could be something very small that just needs to shift. And rest assured that the candle, I'm sure it will gain momentum throughout the reading, which we'll see when that happens. But as it starts out small, it might be something that is going to also come to you in like little pieces or at a slower pace, especially if you set intention for psychic gift. I'm hearing it might be something that you're going to have to uncover a little bit slowly. Now let's go ahead and see what we have in your reading for you, pile number 4. So this reading is mainly focused on our significator, which is the Fool. So I don't want any of you to get it confused and think that I think you're a fool or that the universe thinks you're a fool. That is not the case. The Fool is actually very representational of somebody who is a free spirit. I actually feel that many of you I just said actually way too many times. I feel that many of you are Sagittarians or have major Sagittarius energy. Not all of you, but I feel that many of you potentially are, because Sagittarius is the free spirit. In my opinion, they are the ones that want to travel the world. They are the ones that are a lot more lighthearted in the zodiac. They will always keep you laughing. And so I feel like many of you might have major Sagittarius placements in your charts, or you are Sagittarius suns or risings or moons, or like I said, just some major planetary energy of Sagittarius. Now, that being said, the Fool also represents someone that is just going off on a new beginning. So in correlation to your purpose, I do feel like you are someone that people maybe don't believe in what you're doing, or they think you're too ignorant or too young, or you've come from the wrong background to have something or be something or do something. And I'm here to tell you that the Fool is somebody that cannot be stopped. They are someone that they will Even if it takes a little bit to get there, they will continuously go after what they want to pursue because they are so free-spirited and independent. So you don't need to worry about the opinions of others when it comes to your purpose. You are going to be uncovering that relentlessly. So we do have the King of Pentacles here for you. We also have the Nine of Swords. And we also have the Seven of Wands. So it's very interesting. So with the Nine of Swords, the only thing that's going to really set you back from your purpose is your own fears and your own doubts. This doesn't really have anything to do with anyone else. This is you feeling trapped by your own mind, by you not having a belief in yourself, by you telling yourself over and over that you can't do it for some reason. It is this belief that is not true that is going to keep you here. And ultimately, your soul is a divine free spirit. You are not someone that is meant to be tied down like this, especially if you are a Sagittarius. That is like the fastest way to make a Sagittarius run for the hills is like locking them into anything. So you are not someone that is meant to felt heavy, burdened, and tied down by things. So rest assured that that is not your path if that's how you're feeling right now. We also have the Seven of Wands, which tells me your path is going to be not difficult necessarily, but it's going to come with criticism from others. And I feel like, unfortunately, that kind of is the curse, so to speak, of the Fool card. It comes with the criticism of others who think they are older and wiser and know better for you. But I need to tell you something. Spirit is saying very strongly that these people, even though they might make you feel some type of way about yourself, the obstacles are there to make you stronger. The people that doubt you, imagine how good it's going to feel when you prove them wrong. Now, do I think that you should proceed with your purpose and go forward in your life just to spite someone? No, but I do think that it can help to set a fire under your rear end. So I don't think it's all quote unquote bad energy to do that. It might actually help you kind of charge towards something when it's like, well, you know what, I'll freaking show you. So, don't discount that energy of, it might just help you set the course on your path. So, with the Seven of Wands, though, that's like you kind of having to armor up and go to bat for yourself against all of the naysayers. So your purpose in life is meant to be very different, potentially very eccentric, and just something that you don't see a lot of people doing, or maybe you've come from a life or a family or a community where what you want to do is not very widely accepted. Many of you, I'm also hearing, potentially are wanting to dabble in witchcraft. This has come up before in one of my readings, not today, but a different reading. Many of you are being called to kind of look into that path a little bit harder, I'm hearing, because there is maybe this huge misconception, misunderstanding, or a non-acceptance of it around you, but it's something that's going to help you. Now, that again is not for everyone, but for some of you, that is something that I'm hearing you're being specifically called towards, especially with a purple candle, and knowing that that is linked to intuition and psychic gift. I definitely feel like many of you are being called to kind of look into that more. Now, we do also have the King of Pentacles, and I really love this because the King of Pentacles is here to tell us that there is a strong financial gain to what you decide to do. There is money in what you want to go into, and it's not just a little bit of money. It is like money for your family. It is money to support you, money to support your lifestyle, your livelihood, and your personal family. It's not just a little money. The King of Pentacles is somebody who is very responsible with money. I think many of you, I'm currently hearing that you think that if you have too much money, you're not going to know how to manage it, and that really stresses you out. But ultimately, that's not true. Even if you have multiple streams of income with what you're doing, you will either A, acquire the knowledge to be able to handle it, or you will acquire so much abundance that somebody, you can give that power to someone else. You can give that responsibility to somebody else to keep track of it for you so you don't have to do it. So don't let that hold you back from receiving abundance or becoming the abundant person of your life. Because I feel like with the Fool, some of you also really do just feel foolish because you've been made to feel foolish, like you'll never understand. And that is not true either. You actually have a really great head on your shoulders. You're very smart. And the King to me is like, it's like the top of the suit, right? If there's 4 suits in a tarot deck, the King is the top of the suit. So you are like the most advanced on the path. There's nobody better for it than you. So don't let that hold you back at all. Now we also have the 9th house of faith. I'm telling you, I'm getting such strong Sagittarius energy from this reading because Sagittarius also rules the 9th house. It is the 9th sign of the zodiac. So with the 9th house coming out here, many of you are going to need to unlock your purpose or follow your purpose with blind faith. And I feel like the Fool is really good at doing that, kind of following blindly and just going, because the original tableau for the Fool is like the Fool is about to tripsy trap right off a cliff, because they're just not really, they just kind of have blind faith that it's all going to work out. And I feel like for you, that's actually a good thing. You have such a charismatic, carefree energy around this. Even with your purpose, you might be somebody who doesn't really stress it as much as others. Some of you definitely might, but some of you, I'm hearing that you don't stress it as much as others. You know it's going to unfold when it will. And some of you are being called to just have a little more faith in your guides, your spirit team, the divine, the universe that is there to support you in whatever it is that you are wanting to make. Now, we also have the water element, which is sensing. I feel many of you may actually be clairvoyant or is it clairvoyant or clairsentient? Actually, it might just be both, but I feel like many of you actually are psychic in some way. Now, rest assured, everybody has psychic gift. Some people, it's just more pronounced than others, and they don't have to work as hard to understand it. And I feel like if you were drawn to this pile in general, what I'm hearing is you are naturally psychically gifted. Purple candles talk about psychic gift specifically. And with the 9th house being here, I just really feel that many of you kind of came into this world with, or like, not even came into the world, but you continue to develop in the world with a very open crown chakra and a very open third eye. It's never really closed off for you, even through all the experiences that you've, been through. Those things have never closed for you. So I feel like you are naturally inclined to have psychic gift. You just need to learn to trust them a little bit more. Trusting your intuition, trusting your gut senses, trusting your ability to read cards or divine or use a pendulum or whatever it might be that is your like desired divination. Some of you need to actually get into divination because it's a part of your purpose. Now, it doesn't mean you're going to be doing the same thing that even I'm doing right now. I mean, maybe it is. Some of you might feel called to do what I do, but it doesn't mean that you're going to like start up a tarot channel tomorrow, but it could just be that to connect deeper with yourself and to understand your purpose, you need to start divining for yourself, potentially your family and community members as well. But many of you are naturally gifted and inclined. So that's beautiful. Now we also have dynamic, which is the frequency of dynamic supports our ability to harmonize between layers and aspects of different origin and frequency. It helps us to put together a reality that is made up of many different elements, both familiar and completely new, with ease, grace, and great joy. So the more that you open yourself up to being able to divine and just trusting the flow of things, not really forcing things so much, the more you are going to be able to actually like really put all of the pieces of your purpose together. Because I feel like, I think I said early on in this reading that you don't just have like or maybe I didn't. You don't have like one single trick of the trade. You know a lot of different things. And so you're somebody that's going to forge a path of combining things that people don't think to combine. Like for instance, obviously this is not that far-fetched, but just as an example, I guess, a simple example for myself, I read tarot cards, but I also do candle magic. That's what I'm doing here. I don't ever like say it like that because I think some people don't like the idea of witchcraft and it puts them off. But ultimately, when we set intention candles, that's what we're doing. That's like a big part of witchcraft. So I don't think I have personally seen, maybe like one other time, I haven't seen many tarot card readers doing that, infusing magic and tarot at the same time, or Reiki and tarot at the same time. And so there's like this dynamic edge to you that maybe there are some things that you're using together that people don't think to do those things. So that's amazing. You have this, like, the Fool is also a very childlike perspective, but I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean, the Fool is so curious and so open-minded to so much. So is the sign of Sagittarius. That's why I said I feel like many of you really have strong Sagittarian energy, because I feel like Sagittarius is also very open-minded. You could say almost anything to them and they like want to hear about it. Same with Aquarius, but you have such a childlike wonder about you that you've never lost. And because of that, you've been able to keep gifts that you are born with. And it's been easier for you, or it will be easier for you the moment you start to work with them. Now we also have soul time, and this one says, the frequency of soul time asks us to allow the possibility of a new reality to emerge, one that embraces the concept that while the corporeal body is mortal, the soul is timeless, limitless, and infinite. So I feel like many of you, whatever you have come here to do in this lifetime as your purpose, it's something that is going to carry you into the next phase, into the next lifetime, into the afterlifetime even. And you are here on a soul mission, not just a physical mission. I feel like those of you that listen to this pile, you may also want to listen to pile number 3, because pile number 3 was definitely a light worker pile. There was some light worker information in there. And I feel like many that are light workers at this time are really coming from a soul mission standpoint. So many of you that chose this pile, you're here for a soul mission, and you might have a dual purpose as a soul mission and another type of purpose, depending on what that comes into light to you to be. Now, we also have Montaken or Mintaken, and that is longing for, oh my gosh, what did I just say? I hate it. Okay, I love it when this happens, but sometimes I wish I had a face cam so you could see. I mean, I have like no makeup on and I look like a mess right now, but that's not the point. I wish you could see my facial reactions when this happens, but longing for home, belonging, the original light worker. I did not look at these cards before I dealt them out. I'm literally seeing them at the same time that you're seeing them. Literally, I just said to you, you might be here for a dual purpose. You might be a light worker. And then we pull the card that says the original light workers. Are you kidding? I could not have timed that any more perfect. Thank you, Spirit, for this divine message. I'm shook. I got goosebumps. Many of you also might feel like because of how much maybe criticism that you receive, you don't feel like you fit in. That's very typical of a light worker. And I do have a light worker video coming out this month. It might even be this week. I'm not sure. I'd have to look at the schedule, but there is a video coming out. Like, please make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're wanting that video, because it is coming either this week or next week. But with longing for home, this is a very typical trait of a light worker. It's like you look up at the stars and you know that that's home. You know that this is not your home. And sorry, I kind of stopped myself because there's a personal story that I'm being told to spill out. Y'all are my tribe, though. If you pick this pile, you probably are a light worker and you're my tribe. So from a very young age, I have always said that I'm never coming back here. Like, and nobody told me that. I grew up in a really Christian home, I always have said though that I will not come back here. Like my soul doesn't belong here. I will never come back here. This is the last time I'm coming here to Earth. I'm not coming back here. What child do you know that just has information like that? So I feel like I've kind of, even before I knew what a light worker was, I've always had this like sense that I don't really belong here, but I'm here for a reason. And I can get more into that in another video as well, because I've had a very interesting, this is not about me right now, this is about you, so I don't want to get too off course, but I had a very interesting bringing into this world. So, yeah, I feel like light workers, we kind of always know, like even if we have like an inkling that we might be one, we probably are. It's very like, you almost kind of are born with this extra little sense that you just know it's not quite the way everyone tells you that it is. Now, we also have deep replenish, retreat, rest, and be held. So I feel like many of you that chose this pile, you're letting the effects of other people and how they tell you that your life should be affect you so much to the point that you are having a hard time even listening to yourself. You feel like everybody else seems to have the answers and you don't have any, when in reality, it's quite the opposite. You have all the answers and everybody else is just kind of following the motions of everybody else. And so because of what they've been taught and told, they think that they have the right to tell you how to live your life and do what you need to do, and et cetera, when in reality, you have such a stronger intuition of what you need to do. And you also may find that you are someone that is highly sensitive. I find that a lot of light workers are highly sensitive people. I have a whole video on my channel that I talked about that. It is linked in the card section already because I mentioned it in another reading. So you can check that out at the end of this. But it's just like 23 signs to know if you're like highly sensitive or you're too sensitive, which is not even a thing. But it's really important for you with uncovering your purpose and moving towards your purpose that as you exercise blind faith or make moves, it might happen very slowly for you because you kind of have to pull yourself back and really internalize the things that you're learning and the things that are coming into your reality. So the last 3 cards that we have are a little bit more simple things that you can do to connect with your purpose a bit more. For some of you, all 3 are going to apply. For some of you, it's going to be 2 or just one of them. But first and foremost, we have read. This is huge, actually. I feel like on my own path of self-discovery and discovering my purpose, reading was something that really got me through a lot of it. And I have a video titled The Dark Night of the Soul that I will link for you. I talk in that video, there's a section about books that I read during that time. I'm getting the sense that there is sadness in a lot of you, and I think that's why my voice, I feel like, has even gotten a little more somber as I've continued to go, because I'm sensing that there is like a great sadness of wanting to uncover purpose, feeling like life is meaningless, like you don't belong here. And you do belong here. You have a specific soul mission that you came here to fulfill because you wanted to do it. So, I would definitely encourage you to check out that video and maybe pick up some of the books that I recommend. We also have massage. Some of you actually might find that your purpose is in energy work or in massage therapy or becoming a massage therapist, which I feel like that is such a beautiful and divine way to heal yourself and to heal others. Some of you also might just need to get like a Reiki massage or Reiki done, I'm hearing, to kind of clear out some of these energy blockages. And lastly, we have meditate. And I feel like with meditate, this really goes hand in hand with deep replenishment, because if you are somebody that is highly empathic, highly sensitive, a light worker, the thing about being a light worker that is really hard is you're out here just trying to be happy. Your natural state is like pure childlike joy. And I can attest to this I can say this because I experienced this myself. I am a light worker. And for those of you that are just uncovering this path and this purpose for you, you know, you're out here just like playing through life. Life is like so joyous at your natural state. And unfortunately, when you play this out, a lot of times other people are jealous of that or angered by that because they want their life to be so easy and simple and fun. And you often are the mirror that will reflect at people the things that they feel like they don't have, or the parts of them that make them angry, or you kind of reflect their wounds back at them. And so a lot of people will take that out on the light worker. And even though you're just here to help and to be a source of love and light, and I almost want to like cry because it's so heart-wrenching to feel like you don't have a purpose or like you don't belong, when ultimately you do. Your soul family is here on this planet, and I'm probably one of them. Your tribe is here. You look at the comments, see the people that show up for pile number 4. Like, you are here. Your soul family is here. I promise. You are meant to be here. You have purpose. And with Meditate, this is going to be an important thing that you pick up. And maybe you're someone that has tried meditation before, or you feel like it doesn't work for you. I'm here to tell you that it is a muscle that you kind of have to work at, but it is something that can be so incredibly healing when you feel like the entire world is just against you. So I love you so much, pile number 4. Please know that you have a home on this channel, absolutely. And please do not forget to claim your blessing. I have all of the cards that I use in these readings linked down below for you, so don't hesitate to check those out if you want to get any of them for yourself. They are in the order that they appear. Please don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter. I'm at Kloee Taylor. And if you feel called to do so, it is never expected, always appreciated. I do have links to my PayPal, Cashapp, and Venmo down below. If this reading resonated and you're able to, I appreciate any generosity that you want to send my way. Because of many of you, I have been able to purchase more decks. I actually now have more time to dedicate to creating more readings for you. So thank you so much to all of you that have done that. I don't do this because I expect you to give back to me in that way, but if you feel called to do so, like I said, it is so appreciated. So thank you. And I love you all so much. Please remember that when you stand up in your own authenticity, you empower everyone around you to do the same. And I will talk to you again in a future video. Bye.